Well, thank you very much, and thanks to Leslie. I join in a plea for calmer waters in terms of our political environment and discourse. When the musical chairs of Prime Minister finally, the game of musical chairs finally ended, and the music stopped, I was delighted to see that Rishi Sunak was in place. Somebody I'm a great fan of. We entered Parliament at the same time, and I think he's got the right approach to deliver those calmer waters. Calm competence, I think, is what we all desperately need from many different aspects. I've got to say, from a personal perspective, I was also very pleased that when the music stopped, I was sat in the Minister for Small Business chair. I know that had been something of a revolving door, and that's no reflection on the people, my predecessors, all of whom I think did a fine job in difficult circumstances. For me, it's the best job I could possibly wish for in government. Prior to entering Parliament in 2015, for 30 years, I had my own business, which I built from a small business to a larger one. It was a business called Hunters, which was an estate agency business. So, estate agent turned politician. I'm probably one of the few people ever who's entered Parliament and improved his social standing. So looking at the slide up there in terms of Slido, seeing why people had arrived, it's great to see so many people who are interested in knowledge building. I'm certainly here to build my knowledge in this sector. Although delighted to get the small business brief, I was a little bit surprised when I found I was responsible for product safety for the Office of Product Safety and Standards. But having met with them a week or two ago, I came out of the meeting very, very excited, actually, about the opportunities here. As a backbencher, I was quite involved in what happened, the terrible tragedy that was Grenfell, both from a building safety perspective and from a product safety, because clearly that tragedy was caused by an unsafe product, a refrigerator in a flat. So it shows how important the work you all do in this space. And so hugely important, and I pay tribute to Leslie and her team for the work you do. It shows you can. Many people think whatever you do, you can't make a significant change. I absolutely disagree with that. If you set your stall up properly, to campaign properly, you can effect proper change, and I think that's every reason to be here today, and I fully support your campaigns. I say from a estate agent and lettings perspective, the work you did in terms of electrical checks in the private rented sector, for example, again shows what important work you do. And in my experience, the private rented sector itself is keen to improve standards. The vast majority of landlords are keen to improve standards and welcome the kind of change you brought to bear. So I absolutely support your efforts and will do so in any way I can. So thank you for asking me to welcome you all here today, and for Electrical Safety First for organising this fantastic event. Delighted to see so many people in the room. I look forward to learning from your experience and insights about the critical issues in the electrical products sector. The government fully recognises the vital importance of its regulatory responsibility to protect consumers with the absolute seriousness which it requires. That's why we are completely committed to product safety. But regardless of how safe our products are, we can't ignore the growing demands from consumers for responsibly sourced and sustainable products. Demands for reducing single-use plastic, for more energy-efficient fridges and eco-friendly washing machines, and making sure these don't end up piled on landfill. We already have a robust product regulation framework, but we have to make sure that it is fit for the future, and that means committing not just to safety, but to sustainability too. Today's focus on safety and sustainability could not be timelier. The COP27 summit earlier this month in Egypt highlighted the urgency of acting now to tackle climate change, without doubt the greatest challenge of our century. In Sharm el-Sheikh, the British government set out its plan not just to play its part in addressing this challenge, but to unlock new industries, new jobs, new skills in the process. we see green growth not merely as a challenge, but as a huge opportunity. The UK is leading the global effort to deliver net zero, building on the success of our COP26 presidency last year. If we are to achieve our ambitions and cut our carbon emissions, we will need to transform every element of the economy. My department, I'm very proud to say, my Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy is driving forward this green revolution. This will impact on every aspect of our lives, and it has implications for product safety too, at every stage of the product life cycle. From the kinds of products we produce to the way we produce them, indeed the way we sell and purchase them, the way we use them, reuse them and recycle them, and finally the way we dispose of them. This means we've got to refresh the way we regulate too, and this is where the Office for Product Safety and Standards comes in as the UK's national product regulator. In my experience, often in Parliament, regulators get quite a hard time, but I'm a big fan of regulation where it is efficient, effective, and protects consumers without reducing customer choice. Delighted to say Sarah Smith today from the OPSS is with us and will be speaking to you as part of a panel shortly. The OPSS is committed to supporting sustainability for all products and at all stages of the life cycle, from design through to disposal. That's why we publish science-based analysis on emerging technologies such as 3D printing of spare parts and AI to help industry and others to understand their potential impact on the marketplace. And why we are enforcing regulations to minimize the levels of hazardous substances in electrical products and batteries and maximize their recycling. In September, OPSS partnered with AMDEA, the Association of Manufacturers of Domestic Appliances, and the City of London to deliver 2050 Appliances of the Future, building on last year's Fridge 2050. This year, the focus was on net zero and sustainability of appliances and the actions required for industry, government, academia, and other stakeholders to reduce the environmental impact of appliances. And we're ramping up our assistance for the flourishing industries, which will be key for driving us forward on the road to net zero. We are collaborating closely with the Office for Zero Emission Vehicles and the Department for Transport to ensure that the electrical vehicle charging infrastructure meets minimum standards and can be easily accessed. And I speak as somebody who drives a fully electric car, so I understand some of the challenges around that. We're working with the Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs on energy labelling, enabling customers to identify and purchase the most efficient products in the marketplace. This is crucial work, and I'm glad to see officials from both departments here today. But in order to support businesses' transition to net zero and empower customers to make more sustainable choices, we've got to move further and faster. That's why OPSS has commissioned BSI to develop a fast-track product standards document to support businesses to make more sustainable consumer products. These voluntary product standards will assist manufacturers not just to meet the legislative requirements of the applicable legislation, but also to undertake environmental assessments at every stage of the life cycle and to identify and address the potential safety considerations that could arise from environmental initiatives. But it's not primarily about government. Businesses must draw on that British spirit of innovation and enterprise to play their part. A glance at the agenda for today's event highlights just how much the drive for sustainability is rewiring the electrical products market, bringing with it new opportunities and new challenges. We are already seeing a move towards much greater resource efficiency for products. Increasing numbers of products in the UK are designed for a longer lifespan, to incorporate recycled materials, and to allow components to be more easily repaired or replaced. And that's not to mention the astonishing wave of innovation in consumer products as they incorporate the Internet of Things, software, and AI. Complex products are becoming smaller and smarter. From your daily hike up the office stairs to your evening jog, wearable health products are capable of tracking biometric data such as heart rate, blood pressure, and exercise patterns. And when you get back home, the chances are you're likely to make use of one of a growing number of smart appliances. And maybe you don't even have to be at home. You might control your washing machine from your phone, automatically determining the type and weight of a load of laundry, and selecting the right program to make sure water and energy are not wasted. There is the chance here for the UK industry to get ahead, developing safe and effective products to meet new demands. But to do so, we need the right regulatory frameworks. To capitalise on this opportunity, OPSS is undertaking a fundamental review of the product safety framework. In March 2021, the government launched a call for evidence, inviting views on the long-term approach to product safety to ensure that our regulatory framework is fit for the future. I know many of you participated, and thank you to all those who did so. Respondents to our call for evidence last year recognised that the UK system of product safety regulation faces a range of challenges and opportunities, from new technologies to rapid changes in business models and the way in which consumer products are made, supplied, and used. I'm also fully aware of the great work the Electrical Safety Initiative is taking out in terms of the online marketplaces, in terms of how these products are sold, and I'm keen to ensure that we do the right thing in this space. And as a new minister in place, I'm still a little bit confused why the requirements based on online marketplaces are less stringent than we might expect for the sale of products than we would expect from our UK high street stores, something that certainly we need to look at more carefully. The UK starts from a strong foundation, but now that we have left the EU, we have an opportunity to design and implement a framework that works better for us, ensuring we regulate only where it is necessary and in the way that best enables us to unlock the new industries, new jobs, and new skills which will drive forward growth in the future. We are committed to using our newfound agility to forge our own path, delivering a regulatory framework that prioritises the needs of UK consumers and reduces the burden on business. Our next step will be a formal consultation, which is being finalised for publication, and I encourage you all to engage with this next step of the review. We all have a role to play if we are to ensure both safety and sustainability for the products we make and market, and I thoroughly look forward to productive discussions about how we can achieve our ambitions together. Lastly, allow me to reiterate my thanks to ESF, not just for organising today's event, bringing together the whole of the electrical product sector in one room, but also for their extensive engagement with government on the pressing priorities for product safety. Your technical expertise continues to be invaluable. I'm confident you will gain a great deal from today's event. I look forward to hearing the outcomes of today's sessions. It was brilliant to meet many of you early this morning. I hope to meet many more of you over the coming months as we continue our work together. Thank you very much.